Hi, I'm Melissa from Welcome to the Woods. I've been working on this outdated bathroom, remodeling it entirely down to the studs. And in this video, I'm going to focus on what I did to the floor, removing the old tile, pouring self-leveling concrete, and then laying new. That squeak would drive me nuts. The original tile, I was just gonna lay over top of it, but a lot of it's damaged anyway, and the plumber came and installed my rough-ins for me, and he damaged some of it. So in this video, we're gonna get started by removing the floor tile and then starting to build back. Wow, okay. Oh my gosh, I don't know. This subfloor looks pretty bad. At first, I seriously thought that this black coating on here was like water damage around the toilet. When I pulled up all the tiles, I realized it was like painted on the subfloor. So I'm assuming it's some kind of waterproofing membrane. Well, the scraper isn't doing it for me, so we're gonna try a power tool. I put a scraper blade attachment on my oscillating multi-tool. This thing is so handy. I just feel like I use this for every DIY. This still isn't fast enough, but you know what? I am the girl who got paint off of an entire house worth of siding. So I certainly should be able to get some dried mortar off of a subfloor. I'm gonna go get a grinder. I need to get the mortar bed up off this subfloor because I need it flat, whether I'm laying new flooring on top of the existing or putting a new subfloor down on top. It's gotta be flat so it doesn't mess up my flooring joints. Now the black that's on the subfloor, I'm pretty sure was an application of hot mopping, which is a process that waterproofs the subfloor so that the mortar bed doesn't soak into the plywood pores. I'm pretty sure it's not the asbestos mastic that happens like as an adhesive for vinyl tiles. So I'm gonna put on a respirator just to be safe, and I'm gonna use my grinder to try to get this subfloor flat. Grinding this floor was really dusty, as was the drywall that I did, the original demolition that I did, and I take precautions to prevent myself from inhaling that dust and those debris, like wearing my half-face respirator and taping off vents in the room to prevent the molecules in the air from getting all over the house. But regardless, anytime you're renovating, it is so messy that you need to make sure you are changing your furnace filters. And that brings me to the sponsor of this video, Filter Time. If you are doing any kind of home renovation, or even if you have issues like respiratory issues, allergies, asthma, or you have pets in the home, it's so important for you to change your filter on your furnace on schedule. And Filter Time helps with that by allowing customers to set up a subscription where it will automatically deliver the filters for your furnace to your home when it's time to replace them. And you can set it up as often as you want, every month, every 3 months, whatever. Look at the filter for the lake house furnace. It is beastly. Setting up a subscription for something like this is so easy. It takes like 5 minutes. The filters are manufactured in North Carolina, so I love that they're made in the USA. All in all, I think it's just an awesome business concept. It's extremely convenient. It saves you time running to the store to buy it. It helps you remember. How many of us have forgotten to change their filter, gone to the furnace and been like, oh my gosh, this is disgusting. And the coolest thing is that you're also gonna save money with my code. W2TW, Welcome to the Woods, is my code, and it gives you 15% off your first subscription order, which is awesome. Click the link in the description right now to go to filtertime.com. Before I can lay self-leveling concrete on this floor, which is in such bad shape after all my drywall and painting and everything, I'm going to fill these holes, okay? And I'm just grabbing blocks of wood. Okay, just to fill that hole a little bit, and then I'm gonna put patching compound over that. I actually figured out what size hole saw to use to drill this hole, and I used that same hole saw to cut a piece out. All right, there we we go. Now that adhesive caulk's gonna dry. Well, I had some extra Bondo mixed up and I just decided to patch these with Bondo. I know that the self-leveling concrete will stick to Bondo, and I'm not sure that it will stick to the other floor patch product that I have. I'm also gonna fill the seam between the sheets of Subfloor. I'm gonna fill that with some Bondo too. I did this prepping to fill holes, but I'm gonna need to build up a curb around other areas, like around the toilet flange and around this pipe coming in and around the edge of the wall. So for that, I'm gonna use this great stuff, and this is the window and door one because it's what was left over for replacing the window in this bathroom, and because it doesn't expand a ton, so it's gonna give me the right amount of curb. So I added a few screws in Subfloor to fix the squeaking, but I also am gonna add some screws kind of in like anywhere there's a joist, because with nails, how it works is the Subfloor moves as people walk between the joists. Like that pressure from your body weight causes those nails to fall and rise over time, and that's what causes squeaking in the first place. It's the Subfloor not completely attached to the joists. So these screws are just going to reinforce that Subfloor, and they're going to prevent that self-leveling from cracking, because if it's just nails, the Subfloor can still move slightly up and down, and your self-leveling concrete is going to fail. So anywhere I see a nail, and it's not super easy to see them, but anywhere I see a nail, I'm gonna pop a screw next to it. Now the floor needs a good vacuum and a good wipe down before you come in with primer. So now I'm gonna use this. This primer is going to help my self-leveling stick to the plywood subfloor and do what it needs to do. I don't know why I wore all black today. I kind of feel like Sandy from Grease, you know? The little black tank and the tight black pants. You better shape up, boo, 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 'cause I need a man, and my heart is set on you. So I'm working my way out of the room. I'm gonna be doing this when I do the self-leveling pour as well. You just wanna plan your exit strategy. For me, it's a little more complicated by the cameras, so you're just gonna have to deal with that angle for now. After an hour, I'm gonna put a second coat on this as well, just to make sure, because my floor has these divots in it, and I just really wanna make sure that this adheres. Now that the primer has dried, I had it dry about 4 hours, and it's like definitely nice and clear. I'm gonna lay down some silicone caulking along the edge of the great stuff foam. This is just kind of like an insurance policy to make sure that none of the self-leveling concrete gets under these areas that I don't want it to. I'm pretty nervous about this part because now it's kind of like if my prep work worked out, this is gonna be fine, and if not, I could have a disaster on my hands. So let's hope it's all good. With self-leveling concrete, you have to use the whole bag. So I measured 5 1/4 quarts in here of cold, clean water. And you just follow the instructions on the back of the bag. You have to have really specific measurements or it won't flow and self-level the way it's supposed to. Let's do it. So the floor, before I did this, was pretty dang level. So that is why I'm not too worried about testing the level. I just need to agitate this product so it can move into all the spots that it needs to go. So once it's there, it can flow and move, but if it's not in that spot, it might not necessarily make it there. So you really have to agitate this and move it around. If I had a long handled trowel, that would work even better. I could stand outside the room and kind of agitate the whole thing. I only have like 20 minutes to work with this before it starts to harden, so gotta kind of go quickly. All right, here's what it looks like after the pour. It looks pretty cool. My Great Stuff curbs worked excellent. So I'm gonna let this dry overnight and hopefully in the morning I'll have a nice subfloor. Okay, it's the next day. I'm filming my reaction to the self-leveling concrete. I'm coming to look at it for the first time. Dang, it looks good. I love it. Oh man. I did that. I did that. When I was maneuvering it around, I did splash some up on the tub. You can see kind of got smushed up on there, but that'll get covered by the depth of the flooring. You can walk on this after 2 hours, and mine, it's been like 14, but I'm still extremely apprehensive. Oh my gosh. Wow. Now I'm just using a utility knife to cut away the foam. You can see here my depth is a little less than 1/4 inch. Alrighty, now I'm gonna start laying my flooring. And this is an LVT, so it's meant to look like tile. It's made of vinyl and it's waterproof. It's really easy to lay, especially when your subfloor is so nice and level. If you want to know more about how to lay flooring, I have a couple really popular videos on the topic of both vinyl and laminate floors, and you can check those out. They'll be linked in the description and the cards. Look at that, I got a perfect scribe along this curved 1960s bathtub. Okay, this piece is gonna be so hard because I have to scribe the edge so that it goes around the curve of the tub, and I have to cut for this, and I have to cut a half circle for the toilet. This is the kind of piece that you start your workday with, not end your workday with. And this is the last piece I'm doing today. I also have to account for this width, which is just slightly less than the whole board. So I think first I'm gonna cut that. Oh, this is a doozy. This one piece I cut in 20 minutes. Took me 20 minutes to figure this out and cut this, but I didn't mess up. I just made a few adjustments. Look at that. Who's a dang carpenter? That looks so good. I'm gonna shave a little more right here because I wanna make sure it's got some expansion gap. Wow. Awesome sauce. Well, y'all, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome to the woods. You can support my channel by visiting my Patreon, linked in the description, or sending in the super thanks. And you can follow me on other platforms like Instagram, TikTok, whatever is your jam. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the flooring I chose. I am very impressed. I think it looks a lot like large format tile, but it is so much easier to install and probably going to be easier to maintain. I hope to see you back to my channel for the next installment of my bathroom remodel. Subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss it. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.